Hello everyone, PK Blinds here, back again with another hardcore Nuzlocke. Today we'll be attempting a hardcore Nuzlocke of Pokemon Emerald with fighting types only. I'll put the detailed rules of a hardcore Nuzlocke in the description, but in short, every time a Pokemon faints it must be released or permaboxed, only catch the first fighting type encounter on each route, nicknames for every Mon, can't overlevel the gym's highest Pokemon, no items in battle, and battle mode has to be on set mode, and of course fighting types only. As far as fighting types go in Pokemon Emerald, there isn't much choice. I'll put all available Mons on screen now. Unfortunately, Meditite and Medicham aren't available in Pokemon Emerald, but luckily for me, two of my favorite Pokemon in the game are Blaziken and Hariyama. And with all of that out of the way, we are finally ready to start our adventure. And as every good adventure does, ours starts in the back of a blacked out van. We then hear some screaming and see the professor running away from a Zigzagoon. Jeez, Oak would never. After little to no consideration at all, we decide to pick the best Hoenn starter in terms of Torchic and name him Phoenix. I know it's a bit cliche, but it's such a good nickname for him. Unfortunately, in this generation we aren't introduced yet to the physical special split, so a lot of Pokemon will have to deal with that heavily. Anyways, we are finally ready to start out on our very own Pokemon adventure. The early game of Hoenn is pretty long and tedious. There are a lot of small tasks and things we are forced to do. The only major thing before the first gym is the first rival battle against May, but she doesn't really pose much of a threat to our team yet. After being forced by our dad to help Wally catch a Ralts on his first encounter, we head into the Petalburg woods and catch our second member of the team. Shroomish is a grass type who later evolves into a Breloom, a grass fighting type. He will be a very big help for the first gym. We name her Gamba and are ready to take on Roxanne and her rock types. With just Torchic, this gym would probably have been an issue as Nosepass and Geodude would be too much to handle. But because of Gamba and an Absorb Leech Seed combo, the first two Geodudes went down pretty easily. The Nosepass puts up a bit more of a fight. Roxanne still tries to save it with some potions, but it wasn't to be for her. And that's one badge down and 7 more to go as Gamba learns his Mega Drain. May waits for us outside of the gym, but in what I believe is one of the only times in Pokemon history we can just simply decline the battle. After reuniting Mr. Briny and his Wingull, he offers to take us to Dewford, where the second gym and our next encounter find themselves. Makuhira is a slow but very hard-hitting Pokemon who will prove to be instrumental for our team later on. We name him Sumo and we get ready for the second gym challenge. This is a very special gym for us as we need to show this imposter who the real true fighting type leader is. We lead with Shroomish, who Leech Seeds the matchup as he goes for Seismic Toss. We then try to Hex it with Stun Spore twice, but we miss both times. That's purely on me for relying on RNG. Then switch out to Combusken, who evolved right before the gym and learned Peck, because you know, he's a chicken. Great one game freak. We take out the Machop and the Meditite with Peck, and then Makuhira is up last. Luckily for us, Makuhira spams Bulk Up one too many times, so we are able to peck it and win our second gym badge. Take that, Brawly. Up next is Slateport and a level cap of 24. In Slateport we then need to buy a $50 ticket to fight some bad guys. Does anybody know what actually happens if you can't afford the entrance? If anyone does, please let me know in the comments. We then need to take on May. This May fight is notorious for ending so many speedruns. Luckily for us, in a normal hardcore Nuzlocke run, she's pretty easy to deal with. Swampert can be an issue, but luckily we have Gamba with Mega Drain who takes care of it real quick. And as her last Pokemon she has a Slugma, so we switch out to Sumo who fakes out first and then gets taken out by an Arm Thrust. Right before the gym, Wally asks us if he can prove himself with a battle to his dad. Maybe that wasn't the smartest of ideas as we absolutely decimate his Ralts in one hit. Before the gym we also had two evolutions. Makuhita evolved into a Hariyama and Shroomish evolved into a Breloom. The best strategy for this gym was just to let Sumo sweep it after a few bulk ups. Be sure to remember to give him the berry that gets rid of paralysis before the battle though. One Vital Throw takes out the Magneton, and up next is his ace Pokemon Manectric. Vital Throw doesn't one-shot, but unfortunately for him he howls, that raises his attack, but electric type moves are special in this generation. So we won our third gym badge. We then finally got to add another Pokemon to our team. This time it was Machop. We named the Machop Champ, but unfortunately because I have no friends we aren't gonna see a Machamp in this run. We then need to challenge Maxie on top of a mountain surrounded by lava. Seriously Game Freak, how is this the responsibility of a 12-year-old? I send out Phoenix to deal with Mightyena, and he does so successfully but nearly dies to incredibly bad RNG. As Mightyena goes down, next up is a Camerupt. I switch out Phoenix and send in Sumo. Camerupt really doesn't pose a threat to us, as we get it down to red health twice before Maxie heals him up again. But third time's the charm, and we move on to his last Pokemon, Zubat. Zubat also isn't much of a challenge and goes down to a few arm thrusts and vital throws as well. I think Zubat is low-key underrated. The Zubat line is actually one of my favorite flying type lines in the entire Pokemon universe. Next up is the fire type gym leader Flannery. We also got our Machop evolved into a Machoke. Flannery should never really be too much of an issue unless you're doing a grass type only, of course. Maybe that's an idea for in the future. Please let me know guys what kind of videos or challenges you would like to see me try and do. Combusken easily takes care of the Numel and the Slugma before switching out to Hariyama. We do have to be careful though, as a sunny day boosted overheat can always hurt. The strategy was pretty straightforward, a few bulk ups mixed with some attacking moves and hope for the best. Flannery heals up a bunch of times but nevertheless goes down. And lastly is her ace Torkoal, who starts with an overheat immediately, but it doesn't hurt us too much and we can take care of the rest. We're now halfway through the run and haven't encountered too many issues so far. Between the 4th and 5th gym there is literally nothing to do, so we take on Norman, the normal type gym leader, immediately. He must have been really proud as he only set us off on our journey a few hours ago and we already have a team capable of competing with him. This gym is a breeze though, as fighting types are the only weaknesses normal type Pokemon have. Vigoroth, Linoone and Spinda easily go down as the big monster of the team comes out. But then a very weird interaction happened. I decided to switch Breloom and use Leech Seed plus Counter to win the battle, but for some reason the AI was manipulated into only using Counter. This happened for multiple turns in a row. I was pretty fascinated by this, so decided to keep using Counter until Slacken was in range to kill with a Mach Punch. A few Hyper Potions later and this was finally the case, and we got to claim our 5th gym badge. The next two gyms however are Flying and Psychic, so we are up for a real challenge now. We then get Surf from Wally's dad and set out for our adventure. Before the 6th gym we still had to deal with some problems in the Weather Institute. A Team Aqua admin held the professors hostage and refused to release them unless we beat them in a Pokemon battle, because you know, that's how Pokemon works. She was a real pushover though, so we easily won that battle before being rewarded with a special Pokemon that has balls on its chin. The only thing that now still stood between us and the 6th gym leader was yet another May battle. I really wasn't feeling this battle, so just allowed Sumo to go on a rampage and sweep her entire team. First Lombre went down, soon after Slugma also went down, and finally Marshtomp was sent out, but she also couldn't deal with Sumo. My strategy for the gym was very simple: set up on the Swablu with bulk up, tank a few aerial aces, and then hopefully still be healthy enough to sweep the rest of the team. But for some reason, like with slacking, the Swablu kept using mirror move, and since I was setting up and not attacking, the move was useless and it was a free setup. Skarmory came up next and was comfortably one-shot. Tropius went for Solar Beam but was killed in 2 hits as well. Up next was Pelipper, who confused me, but then I got lucky by breaking through. The RNG was really in my favor this battle as I break through again and kill the Pelipper. Up last was her ace Altaria, who also went down in 2 shots. We surprisingly won the 6th badge without any scratches or deaths. Before we could come close to attempting the 7th gym, there was a lot of plot that we had to complete. First we went to the top of Mount Pyre to deal with Team Aqua, and then we had to battle May yet again. Like always, she doesn't pose the biggest of challenges for us, as I wasn't even prepared for this battle, as I completely forgot about it. It's a very forgettable fight. We had good matchups for every Pokemon, but now we had to start thinking what our strategy would be for the 7th gym, the double battle with Tate and Liza. With our current setup and with our current moves, there was no way we were gonna walk away from that fight without any casualties. But before that, we still had to deal with Maxi in their secret Team Magma base. This wasn't the easiest of battles, as Maxi has a Crobat that's really tough to deal with if you only have fighting types. The Mightyena, of course, due to the dark typing, wasn't the hardest to beat with our team. We tried to Confusion hacks us though, but we had a berry that dealt with that comfortably. And 1 arm thrust later, it was on to the Crobat, but due to the swagger we had a big attack up, allowing us to take care of the Crobat as well. After that we had one final job before the gym, and that was to get ourselves another encounter. This encounter was all the way at the back of the Safari Zone and was of course a Heracross. With his ability Guts and the Facade TM we got from our dad Norman, there might have been a tactic brewing in my head for Tate and Liza. We had to be very careful here. We had to Facade the Xatu and fake out the Claydol turn 1 every time. After that we had to go all in on the Lunatone because the Claydol had a chance of going for Earthquake, which wasn't very effective on us. This is where it became impossible though for us to avoid all Psychics, and we unfortunately lost our newest member of the team so soon after his arrival. Goodbye Heracross. He put in a big shift for us though, as without his Guts boosted Facade there was absolutely no way we were winning this battle. It really was a gift from the gods that we were able to get him right before this gym. We then finished off the Solrock with some Protects and some Blaze Kicks, and there we had it. We had beaten the biggest challenge of our entire Nuzlocke, Tate and Liza. One more gym to go, but before we were able to challenge the last gym, there was a lot of storyline we had to follow. First, we had to go and beat Team Aqua boss Archie. He unfortunately also has a very annoying Crobat that's very hard to deal with if you're not properly set up, if you have a team full of fighting types. Fortunately, we were able to set up on the Mightyena again and defeat the Crobat with not too much issues. We do have to switch out though to prevent any risks and prevent any unnecessary deaths right before the Elite Four and the 8th gym. Phoenix survives on a sliver of health, and that was very lucky for us as he was going to play a big part in the rest of this Nuzlocke. We then, however, luckily defeat him and get to see some awesome shots by Kyogre. After that we get to see some more storyline. I remember when I was a kid I thought these were the coolest scenes ever with Kyogre and Groudon and Rayquaza. It was so awesome to see, just enjoy. After that incredible cutscene, we were finally ready to take on the 8th gym leader. As long as we don't use Blaziken, water types shouldn't really be the biggest of worries for us. I wanted to give Breloom the spotlight again, as I felt we haven't seen him in a while, so I let him take down Love Disc and then Celio as well. But when the Kingdra came in, we switched to the biggest MVP of our run so far, Sumo. As we tried using Bulk Up on the Kingdra, they tried to set up on us as well with some double teams, but luckily Vital Throw never misses. Kingdra tries and saves itself with some rests and some berries, but unfortunately for it, it goes down. A very good test for us to see how we will do with the champion Wallace in this game. Wallace is notoriously not that hard of a champion, so I think we will do fairly well. Some of the members of the Elite Four, however, do give us some tougher matchups. With that being said, we are in the final stretch of this game. We go through Victory Road but have to deal with Wally in there first, who sends in an Altaria but goes down to our Breloom. I feel like Wally is very forgettable in this game. He hasn't done a lot, and when he is, he's pretty easy to beat. They should have maybe incorporated him a bit more in the storyline or made him a bit stronger. I don't know exactly, but I always forget him in Pokemon Emerald. I didn't have that problem in Ruby and Sapphire. I don't know if it's just me or if everyone has this. Up first is the Elite Four member Sydney. He's a Dark-type master, so should be the easiest of the four by a long stretch. I decide against just setting up with Sumo, as I have a hunch we will see that in some other battles already too. Mightyena goes down pretty easily and Absol follows suit quite quickly, but he surprises us with an aerial ace that almost takes out Breloom. I should have been more careful there. Blaziken takes care of Shiftry as we switch out to Sumo to take care of the Crawdont. Sumo takes quite a bit of damage, so we switch him out to Machamp. Machamp has to deal with the Cacturn, who is the ace of Sydney. However, due to us getting flinched 2 times in a row and him getting a crit, we have to switch out to Blaziken, who finishes the battle with a Blaze Kick. The second member of the Elite Four is Phoebe. Phoebe specializes in Ghost-type Pokemon and annoying the hell out of people with her toxic Protect stalling. I thought this battle was gonna go pretty smoothly and pretty easily until I realized that fighting type moves don't hit Ghost type Pokemon at all. Turns out we don't really have that much moves that aren't fighting type or normal type moves. Luckily for us, we also had Bulk Up on our Blaziken and decided to spam it before sweeping the team with Aerial Ace. Aerial Ace being a flying type move, so luckily for us we were able to hit everyone. The third member of the Elite Four is Glacia, and Glacia is an Ice type member. Ice types are also weak to fighting type moves, so this battle shouldn't be too much of a hassle. I use Bulk Up on the Celio and set myself up for another sweep with Sumo. I also gave it a Cherry Berry before the battle because I knew Celio's Body Slam often paralyzed us. However, due to us getting hit maybe one too many times and us getting frozen, we need to switch out. We can't take the risk of losing anyone here, as we only have 4 members left for the rest of this Elite Four and the champion battle. Blaziken also struggled quite a lot with the Celio. This battle is turning out to be a bit harder than I expected. Luckily we live on 4, get to switch out to Machamp and use Cross Chop to finish this battle off. 2 Pokemon remained and they quickly went down to Champ's Cross Chops. Luckily we live on 30 as we finally take out the Ace Walrein as well. Up to the last and maybe the biggest challenge left. Luckily for us, Shelgon always starts with Protect, so it's a free Bulk Up. Chalgon needs to be set up on here, otherwise this battle is completely impossible to win. Blaziken sets up twice, takes an earthquake, and then just takes care of the rest of the team. Or so we thought. The Kingdra comes out with a Surf, and if we didn't one-shot, Blaziken would have been gone for sure. So we decide to Leech Seed protect the Kingdra so we stay healthy. However, we had one problem remaining. Breloom couldn't be in the starting spot when Salamence came out because he would be a one-shot straight away. Machamp had to take care of the Kingdra before toxicking the Salamence, or at least that was the plan. Luckily for us, the Kingdra misses a few attacks and we remain on half health. This was going to be extremely close, but we live on 6 HP and get the Toxic off. We equipped all of our Pokemon with the TM Protect exactly for this situation, so we can Toxic stall the Salamence. And just like that, we somehow survived the hardest Elite Four member without losing any Pokemon and without us being strong against it. Only one challenge awaited. Wallace always starts with a Walrein that knows Water Spout. Problem with Water Spout is it one-shot everyone in my team directly, so we had to use Leech Seed and hope they missed the Blizzard with Breloom. Because Breloom is a Grass-type Pokemon, he uses Blizzard and not Water Spout. We get the Leech Seed off and then just use our Protect strategy again while bulking up with Sumo. We continue to use the strategy of bulk up and protect until Wailord is down to red HP, but unfortunately he heals again. We also equipped everyone with protect because of the move Rain Dance. Rain Dance makes sure some Pokemon go faster with the Swift Swim ability just like Ludicolo, and in general make sure water type moves hit a lot stronger. But it only lasts a few turns, so if you can stall it out with Protect, there's no issue there. The Walrein finally goes down and we are left at almost full HP and we can start our sweep. The Tentacruel also luckily misses the Toxic, but I don't think it would have mattered that much. Wallace realizes his only strategy was to double team, but fortunately I kept Vital Throw and that move always goes last but never misses. The Gyarados soon goes down as well after a Hyper Beam, and we have just the Melodic left who also goes down in one hit. And just like that we completed the challenge and we are now champions of Hoenn yet again. If you've made it this far into the video, a big thanks. Please leave a like and let me know what kind of challenge or what kind of monotype Nuzlocke I'll have to try next in the future, and in what kind of game as well. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time.
Matterpod.